When I first landed in India, I had nothing but a briefcase, a passport, and a dream I wasn't sure would survive the week. I had no friends, no family, and not even enough money for the first night's hotel. I stood outside the airport in New Delhi, staring at the endless rush of people, cars, and colors, wondering what I had just done to myself. The noise, the heat, the smell of spices and diesel, it was all so overwhelming. I had left my country because I wanted to start fresh, but now, as I felt the weight of my empty wallet, I realized I was completely alone in a land of 1 billion people. But what I didn't know was that those same people would change my life in ways I could never imagine. The first few hours were chaos. I tried to find a cheap hostel, but every place I went asked for payment up front. I showed them the little cash I had, but it wasn't enough. I was tired, hungry, and scared. I sat on a bench near Connaught Place, wondering if I had made the biggest mistake of my life. Just then, a man selling tea came up to me. He looked at me, smiled, and asked, "Chai?" I tried to explain that I had no money, but he just laughed and handed me a cup anyway. "You're my guest," he said. That was my first experience of Indian kindness, a small cup of tea that warmed not just my body, but my heart. I spent that night sleeping at the railway station. It wasn't safe, it wasn't comfortable, but I had no other option. The next morning, I woke up to the sound of temple bells and the smell of street food. My stomach growled. I hadn't eaten since yesterday. As I sat there, a young boy selling samosas noticed me. He came over and asked if I wanted one. I told him I had no money, but he insisted. He said, "Bye, you look hungry. Eat first, worry later." I ate it slowly, tears filling my eyes. It wasn't just the food, it was the feeling that even when I had nothing, someone cared. Days passed. I walked for hours every day trying to find any kind of work. Most people ignored me, but some stopped to talk. A rickshaw driver named Ramesh was the first to give me real help. He didn't know me at all, but after hearing my story, he offered me a place to stay, a small room behind his house. It wasn't much, but to me it felt like a palace. His wife Sunita cooked me rice and dal and treated me like family. I helped them clean, fetch water, and even learned how to make chapati. Every evening we sat together and they taught me a few Hindi words. I learned to say dhanyavad, which means thank you. I said it 100 times a day because I truly meant it every time. I started helping Ramesh with his rickshaw. Sometimes I guided tourists who spoke English, helping translate or explain directions. Slowly I started earning a few rupees. It wasn't much, but it was enough for food. The locals at the market began to recognize me. They'd wave and smile. Some even slipped me fruit or water bottles for free. I had never seen such generosity before. These people didn't have much themselves, yet they gave without hesitation. One day, while helping a traveler find his hotel, I met a cafe owner named Arun. He noticed I could speak English and offered me a small job washing dishes and helping customers. It was the first real job I had in India. I worked hard every day, and after a few weeks, Arun told me I could start helping at the counter. He said my smile brought good luck to his business. He even gave me a new shirt so I'd look presentable. That small cafe became my second home. The customers became my friends. Some taught me Hindi, others shared their life stories. I began to understand that India wasn't just a country, it was millions of hearts beating with kindness and hope. Halfway through my journey, I realized something deeper. Back home, people are often too busy to notice a stranger in need. But in India, even when people are struggling, they'll still stop to help. They'll still offer you tea, food, or a smile. The more I experienced it, the more it changed how I saw humanity. I started giving back too. Whenever I earned a little more, I'd buy extra food and share it with the street kids who used to play near the market. Their laughter reminded me of where I had started from nothing, with no money and no plan, but now I wasn't surviving alone. I was surrounded by people who cared. If you're watching this right now, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this story. It helps more people discover real stories like this, stories of kindness, survival, and faith in humanity. One of the most unforgettable moments came a few months later. A festival called Diwali was approaching, the Festival of Lights. Arun invited me to his home to celebrate with his family. I didn't have new clothes or gifts to bring, but when I arrived, they treated me like one of their own. His mother placed a small mark on my forehead and said, "You are part of our family now." That night I stood on the rooftop, surrounded by fireworks and laughter, and I realized something powerful. I had come to India with nothing, but I had found everything that truly mattered. Life slowly started improving. Arun encouraged me to start a small YouTube channel, to share my experiences as a foreigner living in India. I borrowed his old phone and began recording my journey, how I survived, the people I met, the lessons I learned. I didn't expect anyone to watch, but soon, my videos started getting views. People from all over the world commented, saying they were inspired by the kindness of Indians. Some even offered to send money, but I didn't need it anymore. I was earning enough to live humbly, and I wanted the focus to stay on the people who had helped me. Over time, I learned that in India, survival isn't about money, it's about community. I saw strangers helping strangers every day. A man sharing his umbrella with someone in the rain, a woman feeding a stray dog, a shopkeeper giving food to a beggar without hesitation. These small acts of kindness may seem ordinary, but to someone in need, they mean everything. There was one night that I'll never forget. I was walking home late when I saw an old man sitting by the roadside, shivering in the cold. Without thinking, I took off my only jacket and gave it to him. He looked at me surprised and said, "You are one of us now." That moment hit me hard. I came to this country as a stranger, but now I felt like I belonged. Months later, Ramesh and Sunita's son fell ill. They didn't have enough money for his medicine, and I knew it was my turn to give back. I used my savings from the cafe job and helped them buy what they needed. Sunita cried when she found out. She said, "You came here with nothing, but now you're giving everything." That sentence stayed in my heart. Because she was right, I had arrived empty-handed, but India had filled me with love, purpose, and gratitude. After almost a year, I finally had enough to move into a small apartment. It was just one room, but it was mine. I bought a mattress, a fan, and a small gas stove. I cooked my own food, mostly rice and vegetables, the way Sunita had taught me. Every time I sat down to eat, I thought about the people who made this possible: the tea seller, the samosa boy, the rickshaw driver, the cafe owner, and countless others whose names I might never know. I decided to make my channel about them, not about me. I started traveling across India, meeting people from villages, markets, and streets, sharing their stories of resilience and kindness. Everywhere I went, I found the same spirit, the belief that helping others brings happiness. In a world that often feels divided, India showed me that humanity still exists in the smallest acts of generosity. If you're still watching, please hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell, because stories like these deserve to be heard. Every view, every share helps keep hope alive in a world. Years later, when I look back, I realize India didn't just help me survive, it helped me discover who I really am. It taught me that kindness isn't about wealth or status. It's about the willingness to care for someone else, even when you don't have much yourself. The chai seller who refused to take my money, the street kid who gave me food, the family who opened their home, they were all proof that compassion can change a life. There's a saying in India, Atithi Devo Bhava, which means the guest is God. I didn't understand it when I first arrived, but now I do. They treated me not as a burden, but as a blessing. They didn't just give me food or shelter, they gave me dignity. Sometimes people ask if I'd ever move back to my home country. My answer is simple: I may leave India someday, but India will never leave me. It lives in my heart in every act of kindness I now do for others. I learned to trust again, to hope again, to love again, all because a nation of strangers decided to care. So if you ever feel lost or hopeless, remember this: somewhere out there are still people who will help you, feed you, and believe in you even when you have nothing. That's the magic of humanity. That's the magic of India. And to everyone who's been part of this journey, thank you. You showed me that the richest people aren't the ones with the most money, but the ones with the biggest hearts. And to everyone who's been part of this journey, thank you. You showed me that the richest people aren't the ones with the most money, but the ones with the biggest hearts. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Share it with someone who needs hope today, because sometimes one act of kindness can change everything. This is not just my story, it's a reminder that even when you have nothing, love and kindness can help you survive anywhere in the world. And for me, India proved that in the most beautiful way possible.